The chief commander of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Valery Zaluzhny, has released new footage showing recently received Krab self-propelled howitzers in action. Zaluzhny stated that Ukrainian forces have started to actively use the modern long-range artillery systems donated by Poland. Arms, ammunition and vehicles provided by partner countries help us to defend peace in Ukraine and throughout Europe, he said on Facebook. The Krab is a self-propelled tracked gun howitzer with 155mm cannon. It is combining the South Korean K9 Thunder chassis with a British AS-90M Braveheart turret with a .52 caliber gun and WB Electronics Topaz artillery fire control system. The turret is mounted with a 12.7mm machine gun serving as a secondary armament for the vehicle. Krab is also armed with a bank of 481mm smoke grenades on either side of the turret. This self-propelled artillery system has all-welded steel construction. Armor-O provides protection against small arms fire and artillery shell splinters. It is fitted with NBC protection and automatic fire suppression system. According to Genic.pl, Ukraine already received 18 Krab self-propelled howitzers as part of military aid. Polish-made Krab howitzers have been transported to the Ukrainian frontline and are ready for action, Alexei Reznikov, the Ukrainian defense minister, has said. After the M777 and FH-70 howitzers and the Caesar and M109A3 artillery systems, it is the fifth type of 155mm artillery that we have managed to acquire, Reznikov wrote on Facebook on Thursday. The minister also said Ukraine had over 150,000 155mm artillery pieces, and more than 50 other high-caliber howitzers. Poland recently signed one of its biggest defense export contracts of the last 30 years for the sale of over 50 Krabs to Ukraine, worth about 3 billion Polish zlotys or 650 million euros. According to Polish media, the first 18 howitzers plus support vehicles reached Ukraine last week. On May 30, 2022, the Army Recognition editorial reported that Poland delivered 18 Krab, Polish-made 155mm tracked self-propelled howitzers, which is the latest generation of artillery systems in service with the Polish Army. In June 2022, Poland signed an agreement with Ukraine to deliver 60 new 155mm howitzers that will be manufactured by the Polish company HSW or Huta Stalowa Wola. The Krab is a modern artillery system equipped with a fire control system, gun layer computer, and other subsystems. It also integrates a navigation system and a DD9620 terminal providing target information. The main armament of the Krab howitzer consists of one 155mm 52 caliber gun that can fire standard 155mm NATO projectiles with a maximum firing range of 40 kilometers. The vehicle carries 40 rounds of ammunition which are stowed inside the turret and chassis. The Krab 155mm howitzer is motorized with an S12U4-stroke, 12-cylinder, multi-fuel, water-cooled, turbocharged diesel engine developing 625 kilowatts at 2,000 revolutions per minute, coupled to a mechanical transmission with a transfer box and 2 gearboxes with 7 forward and 1 reverse gear. It can run at a maximum road speed of 60 km per hour with a maximum cruising range of 650 kilometers. While fiercely fighting to defend the last cities in the Luhansk region, Ukrainian armed forces are advancing in other directions. The armed forces of Ukraine managed to reclaim 2 more settlements throughout this week. One of them is the Potyomkino village to the north of Kherson, and the other one is Pavlivka in the Donetsk region. During the week, the settlement of Potyomkino along Kryvyi Rih axis was liberated and taken under control, as well as Pavlivka, a settlement along Kharkov axis, reported Alexei Haromov, a representative of Ukraine's general staff, during a briefing at Media Center Ukraine. Units of missile and artillery troops hit command posts in charge of the troops and warehouses with fuel and lubricant materials, as well as inflicted significant losses on the enemy. Noteworthy, Pavlivka, despite being a relatively small settlement, is located on one of the main axes of Russian advance in the so-called Donbass region. The news comes shortly after the liberation of Zamini Island in the Black Sea, southern Ukraine. At the same time, Ukrainian units continue to approach Kherson from multiple directions. While the western Ukrainian grouping is stationed as close as 25 kilometers away, the recently liberated Potyomkino village is significantly further to the north, but it's in another unsuccessful direction of Russian offensive towards Kryvyi Rih, a major city in central Ukraine.